Hi and welcome if you're new here. I'm Ellie, the owner of Loopsy Crochet, and today what we're going to be doing is talking about how you can add ribbing to the bottom of any sort of project. This is great for the cuffs of sweaters or the bottoms of sweaters, and we're going to talk how you can do it at Join As You Go. So like and follow and join along for the tutorial. All right, so in this tutorial, we are going to be showing how to do any sort of join as you go ribbing on the bottom of any project. So for this project, I'm just gonna be working into a huge granny square that I'm using to make a sweater, but this can be on any project that you like. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start on the very far right side because I'm right-handed. I'm gonna work from right to left along the bottom of my project. So this would be the bottom of my project. And I'm gonna go into the very far right hand corner stitch, and I'm gonna slip stitch to attach my yarn. You can attach your yarn in whatever way you normally do. From there, I'm gonna chain 9. And that's gonna be the length of my ribbing. You can attach or make any sort of length of ribbing. This could be smaller, this could be bigger. It's totally just up to you and your project. If you are doing a single crochet ribbing, it's gonna be a little bit tighter and you're only gonna skip one of your chains at the end that you're working into. If you're doing a half double crochet or a double crochet, you're going to skip 2. But I'm gonna just do a simple single crochet ribbing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna skip the chain that's closest to the end of my yarn, and I'm just going to do single crochets all the way into the end of my yarn, which is gonna be 8 because I have 9 chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8. And I'm gonna have, this is gonna be the edge of my ribbing. So I have a gap at the bottom that you can see here, and I've just done 1 row of 8 single crochet. So this is where you start to join as you go. So what you're going to do is you're gonna slip stitch into the next 2 stitches at the bottom of your project. So I'm gonna slip stitch into 1, and then I'm gonna slip stitch into the next. And that's gonna attach my project to the bottom. From there, I like to fully flip my project so that I'm working in the right direction. So I flipped my project. So now I can see that I'm going to, again, work from right to left. And I'm going to skip the 2 slip stitches that I just made, and I'm gonna start working into the stitch at the bottom. That was my 8th single crochet. And I'm gonna work into the back loop. So if you look of these 2 loops here, okay, this is the stitch I'm gonna work into. This is the front loop, which is closest to me. This is the back loop. So I'm going to go behind that back loop, yarn over, and pull through to do a single crochet. Then I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna do into the back loop, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8. And that leaves me with my first kind of ridge in my ribbing, okay? So you can kind of see going on here. From there, I'm gonna chain 1, and I'm gonna turn my work so that, again, I'm working from right to left on the edge of my ribbing. And I'm gonna repeat the same process. So I'm going to work into the back loop, okay? So I'm going to go into the back loop, do a single crochet, back loop, single crochet, all the way to the bottom. And again, this should be 8 single crochets. Okay, and then I have my next layer of ribbing. From there, I'm gonna repeat all the way around my project, slip stitching into 2, the next 2 stitches, turning my work, okay, so that I can work into the back loop of the next 8 stitches. This first one's always a tish awkward because of the slip stitches, but again, you're just gonna repeat the same process, stitching up and down your ribbing, working into the back loops. You can do this exact same process with a half double crochet and a double crochet. The only difference is when I get to the end here that you see, when I'm doing a single crochet, I just chain 1 and then turn. If I was doing a double crochet or a half double crochet, I would chain 2, but it's the same process. So I get to the end, chain 1 because I'm doing a single crochet ribbing, turn my work, and again, I'm going to start working into the back loops all the way to the end. At the end, you will have this super awesome ribbing that you can use on any of your projects. And it's join as you go, which is really great because sewing ribbing kind of sucks because it's always more cinched and lining up the stitches is kind of difficult. It's also cool because you don't really have to measure anything. So I'll come back when I have a decent amount of ribbing to show you what this will look like at the end. All right, so now I've made quite a few rows of ribbing. Let's say I wanted to finish off here. What I would do is I would just slip stitch 1 into the next one. Let's say this is my last stitch, and then work it again all the way up into the back loop. But this time, instead of turning my work, I am just gonna work into the final stitch and tie off. So from here again, I'll work into the back loop with my single crochets all the way to the end. Okay, I've made it to the end. From here, what I would do is I would chain 1, I'd chop my yarn, pull through, and then weave in my end. If I did all the way along the bottom, it would make this really cool ribbing effect all the way across the bottom that you see here. I'm not gonna do it all because I don't need to, but that is how you do a join as you go ribbing. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thanks, and have a great rest of your day.